It should come as no surprise to my friends and viewers that trading card games have always had a very special place in my heart. In this series, both Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. Every week we will add an additional core set to our collections, moving in chronological order. We will use these cards to create a deck and then face off against one another in a best 2 out of 3 match, with the winner receiving 2 prizes to upgrade their deck, while the loser receives 1. These prizes can range from wild cards, to sealed product, to starter decks, and more. Every card that has been released will be available to us at least once. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to banish into the Shadow Realm, and even the way the very rules of the game will change, will keep our decks and our duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Okay, so maybe it turns out that Moki Moki was a bit of a jokey. But, you know what? Like I said last week, it was a lot of fun, and honestly, I'm not going to dismantle that deck. I might actually try to build on it later. Because, let's be honest, if Rai doesn't expect it, and we can actually improve upon it, it'll be even better. So, Flaming Eternity. I can't believe it, we're already to the end of the DM era. Flaming Eternity came out March 1st, 2005, and this set kinda didn't change a whole lot, to be honest. It introduced a few key cards, but nothing amazing overall. Let's go ahead and do a quick rundown on some of the stuff that actually matters here. To start with, Insect Knight is another of our big 1900 attackers, and it's normal support, so that's good. Scrolling down here, Armed Samurai Benkei. Anyone who remembers Benkei OTK, this is a good card for that. Probably not going to make use of that very much, but you never know. Down here we actually have the Hex Sealed Fusions. This might be something to pay attention to later. These can not only act as a fusion material for certain monsters of their given attributes, but they can also create fusion monsters of their given attributes. However, it does not count as fusion summoning, so we have to keep that in mind. Rescue Cat. Oh boy, Rescue Cat. People are going to remember this card, and trust me, this is going to get banned later, but for right now, it's no big deal. You can send this card to the grave to special summon 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters from your deck, and they're destroyed at the end of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, pre-errata, this card didn't have the effect of being a hard once per turn, and if I remember correctly, I don't think their effects were negated, but that one I'm not too sure. But pre-errata, this thing was a nightmare, and it actually led to Synchro Cat being a very prominent deck back when Synchro Monsters first came out. But for us, it's not that big a deal. And then scrolling down here, we have Threatening Roar, which is a good trap card. It prevents your opponent from attacking. Honestly, this probably could have helped us out a lot last week with Moki Moki. And Pole Position. Now, I'm just going to give this a note right now. Raikourider and I both agreed that we're going to preemptively ban this card. Specifically because this card has created so many Ruling's nightmares and headaches that realistically speaking, we just do not want to deal with it. And it's much easier if we just turn around and ban it right now. Plus, because of the fact that we have so few commons in the set as it is, we're more than likely going to be pulling a playset of each one just about anyway. So even if we pull this in the first place, it doesn't matter. It's not like we're going to take up a valuable common slot in the process. But either way, we're just getting that out of the way to let you know now. So we're going to scroll up into the rares here, and there's a couple that are actually kind of nice. Chiron the Mage is a good one. You can discard a spell card once per turn, and then target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. this is a good bit of removal, and given the fact that both of us are kind of lacking in spell trap removal, that's kind of a big deal. And then Phoenix Wing Wind Blast is probably the best rare of the set, and probably the best card of this set. You could discard a card and then target one card your opponent controls, place that target on top of the deck. This is a good way to lock someone out of a draw for a turn, and it could also help clear the board of a problem in order to get a good push going. So we're definitely going to want to see that. Scrolling down into the super rares here, there really isn't a whole lot to take note of. Grandmark's a pretty decent Monarch for 2400 attack. It could destroy a set card when it's tribute summoned, but that's about it. And then Lightning Vortex is probably the better of the remaining cards. You could discard a card from your hand and destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So that's a pretty good board wipe, and honestly, Rai will probably want to see this, seeing as how he doesn't have Raigeki. But given that we currently have Raigeki and it's not banned yet, probably not as big a deal for us. Now, if we pull this and Rai bans Raigeki later, then yeah, we'll probably keep this in our deck. But for right now, it's no biggie. And then scrolling up here into our Ultra Rares, yeah, truthfully, there's not really a great one to look at. I think the best one would probably be the Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, which is the cover card. Once per turn during your next standby phase, after this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to your grave, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and if you do, it gives a free Heavy Storm effect, which is pretty good. The only issue is, well, to put it simply, you have to have this card destroyed by a card effect. And given the fact that it only has 2400 attack for a level 8 monster, that kind of makes it to where it makes it easier for Rai to just beat over it with power. Hell, if he really wants to, he could just summon out one of his Zaborgs and crash into it. So, definitely not as great, but we're going to see what we could come up with when we get the pack pulling. So, let's go ahead and get to our packs. Alright, so 24 packs of Flaming Eternity. Probably not going to expect too much out of this, but if we could hit 3 Phoenix Wing Wind Blasts, that'll be nice. Let's flip our first pack and see what we hit, and Spell Absorption's actually not the worst. It's a continuous spell card that has the effect where every time you activate a spell, every time a spell card is activated, then you gain 500 life points immediately. So that's actually kind of nice, especially if we run some spell-heavy decks. That being said, given the fact that Rai is currently using Curse of Darkness on us, that means we're just taking a net of 500 loss, which probably is not the best thing. Other than that, nothing spectacular in this pack. Some decent cards, but nothing worth really noting just yet. Okay, so this is an early pack luck. We hit a Chiron the Mage, which is good, and we hit the Sacred Phoenix, so I guess I kind of accidentally lucked into that. I guess trash talking it made it want to show up. But, oh well. Maybe we'll find a use for it, I don't know. Because it's neat, but for a boss monster it's kind of meh. Next pack. Same thing, not really anything spectacular. Insect Knight's kind of nice, but that's about it. What is Cross Counter, actually? Let's see. If the defense of an attack defense monster is higher than the attack of the opponent's attacking monster, the battle damage inflicted to your opponent is doubled. Destroy the attacking monster after damage calculation. Ooh, that's actually not that bad. We might have to keep that in mind. Well, there's our first Threatening Roar, so that's good to see at least. Another Armed Samurai Benkei, so if we want to go that route, we have that. And a second Spell Absorption, so not too bad. Pack number 10. Another Chiron the Mage, which is pretty good, and another Threatening Roar, so that's really good. Hopefully we can hit one more Threatening Roar before the end of these packs. Wow, 11 packs in to finally see a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. That kind of makes me nervous because we have about half a box left to go and we want to hit 2 more of that. Also, we hit the dreaded pole position, but like I said, we've already got that banned, so we're not going to care about that. Are you shitting me? A second Sacred Phoenix? Well, goddamn, I guess we're going to have to give that a try. We're really going to have to give that a try or something, aren't we? Also, another cross counter, so that's kind of nice. But, god damn. Alright, there's our third threatening roar, so that's good. Third armed samurai, if we want to go that route later on, that's good too. Still only one phoenix wing, so that's a little concerning. There's our third cross counter at least. Ugh, god, I'm really starting to get a bit nervous here. Oh, thank god. Okay, there's our second phoenix wing, so even if the next 8 packs turn out to be a flop for us, we at least have 2 of these, which will be very good. But, god, this is going to be an interesting box. This is... Oh, shoot. Okay, so we hit a Grand Mark now. That's pretty good. I mean, granted, it's still not the best, but hey, that's still pretty sweet nonetheless. And a forced ceasefire. That's actually not too bad either. You can actually, with this, you discard a card from your hand, and then until the end of the turn, no other traps can be activated. Now, it can be chained to upon activation, but once it resolves, it's basically like Cold Wave. So that's kind of nice for us. And another rescue cat too, that's cute. Wow, an ultimate rare brainjacker, that's yuck. I mean, yeah, this is honestly it's not the greatest thing, because you flip, equip this card to a monster your opponent's side of the field, treat it as an equipped card, you take control of that monster, and your opponent gains 500 life points during each of their standby phases. I mean, it's kind of neat, but there is one problem with it. Unfortunately, Brainjacker follows the same kind of rules as Parasite, in that, yes, its effect activates if it is flipped over and destroyed in battle. The problem is, if it's destroyed in battle, it does not resolve, because it has to stay on the field in order for its effect to truly go off. So, it means that unless Raya's attacking it with a real weenie, then this thing is not going to actually matter. However, Swords to Concealing Light might actually be a nice little card to pick up. When it's activated, you change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense mode, and this lasts for 2 turns, and while it's on the field, your opponent cannot change their monster's battle positions. So it is actually pretty nice. This is a good way to kind of shut his monsters down if he's already active on the board, but unfortunately, it's still not the best of results. Still though, not terrible. Still though, we only have 6 packs left, and we're still missing that third Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, and another Brainjacker is not what we wanted to see. Well, there's a second copy of Swords of Concealing Light, which is kind of nice, but at the same time, it's also not like a great thing to see another copy of. And we only have 4 packs left. This is kind of concerning for me. There's another Kyron the Mage, but I'm pretty sure we've already got our playset of that. And it looks like we've pretty much got everything else here except the pole position. Well, pole position doesn't matter, so whatever. And even then, that still makes our third. So, next pack. It looks like we have everything here again as well. Okay, so we're down to 2 packs left. We need 1 more Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Can we please get that? We did not get that here, unfortunately. Okay, our last pack. Please, let us see 1 more Phoenix Wing. Please. Let's flip and see. And unfortunately, that is a no. Third Swords Concealing Light, which is really rough. But we definitely have something to think about now. We're going to have to go deep into the tank to figure out what the hell we're going to do here. But we'll see what we got. Alright, well, here's the deck for this match, and quite frankly, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing here, but we're going to give it a shot. I mean, hell, we have 2 Sacred Phoenix, we might as well give it a try. So we're going to go a little bit more of a Harpy-based /wind deck, which I kind of wish the Sacred Phoenix would be a wind monster just to kind of help with that theme a little better, but oh well. Let's go ahead and run through the card by card here. Starting off, we have 2 copies of Flying Kamakiri number 1. This is here primarily to pull one of 2 things. Either Harpy Lady 1 straight to the field, which will automatically jump itself to 1600 afterwards, or to our hand of Nephthys. More on that in a moment. 1 copy of Grandmark the Rock Monarch. This is so that way we get summon him, pop a back row, and we're good to go. 3 copies of Hand of Nephthys. This monster can tribute itself and what other monster you control. Special summon a Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys from your hand or your deck. Now, the reason we're going with this is because it can sack itself after being summoned by Kamakiri and an alternative monster. And the best part is, this is something that can be tributed as a card effect cost, as opposed to, say, a tribute summon. So, if we were to somehow take control over a scapegoat or something like that that Rai would have, or whatever, we can make use of that. Realistically, that's probably never going to happen, but hey, just in case. I'm just explaining the point of it. But anyway, so you get the 2 sacrifices, and then you can get the Phoenix out. We don't have to have the Phoenix on our in our hand. It can come from the deck, and on top of that, this won't require us to waste our normal summon for that, which is nice. 3 copies of Harpy Lady 1. If it weren't for the fact that it specifically says it is always treated as Harpy Lady, I would have probably I'd probably have like 3 of these, probably 1 copy of Harpy Lady 2, and then 1 or 2 copies of Harpy Lady 3. If these guys would count as Harpy Lady just on the field, we would be fine. But because it's always treated as Harpy Lady, period, that means we can only have 3 total in the deck, and Harpy Lady 1 is probably the best of those 3. Because it gives all our wind monsters 300 attack. Harpy Lady Sisters, 1 copy, specifically to help deal with that, which actually I just realized we are missing a card out of here. Which is part of the reason why we're even doing this stupid thing. 2 copies of Magician of Faith to help recur some of our spells. 1 copy of Mobius the Frost Monarch, because once again, we could get some back row removal, that'll be good. Our 2 copies of Sacred Phoenix. Really, our problem with this is just going to be getting it out, and then afterwards, it can be useful. And if Rai decides to destroy it through a card effect, we could bring it back and Heavy Storm the field. 1 copy of Sandgan, 1 copy of Sylphide. This is actually a card that gets special summoned by banishing a wind monster in our graveyard, and if it's destroyed in battle and sent to our graveyard, our opponent has to discard a random card from their hand. We only have 1 copy. I wish we had more of this, to be honest. 1 copy of Sinister Serpent, because if we're going to play Graceful Charity, we're playing this. 1 copy of Witch of the Black Forest, and 3 copies of Sky Scout. Sky Scout being a 1800 attack, and that makes it good for a wind monster, and on top of that, it used to be known as Harpy's brother, so it kind of helps thematically as well. For the spells, Triple Book of Moon, because until this thing gets limited, we are going to abuse the hell out of this. 1 copy of Elegant Egotist to help special summon those sisters. 1 copy of Graceful Charity. 2 copies of Harpy's Hunting Ground. 1 copy of Heavy Storm. 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Raigeki, 1 Swords of Revealing Light, and 1 copy of Triangle Ecstasy Spark. This card increases the attack of Harpy Lady Sisters up to 2700, and it makes the opponent unable to activate any trap cards, and it negates all face-up trap cards on the field until the end of this turn. So you know what? This is pretty nice, because Rai won't be able to do anything afterwards if this resolves. It gives us a pretty decent attack power to work with. And Harpy Lady Sisters shouldn't be too difficult to summon, as long as we're able to pull the Elegant Egotist. For our traps, 1 copy of the newly earned Call of the Haunted, thank God we pulled that. 1 copy of Magic Cylinder, 2 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. This will help us kind of set Rai back a bit if we need to. 1 copy of Ring of Destruction. Now, because we're playing pre-errata here, Ring of Destruction's effect is target a monster that's face up on the field, destroy it, and both players take damage equal to that monster's attack. So, what we can do is, if we could get Phoenix out, we can deal damage with Phoenix, Ring of Destruction the Phoenix, deal 2400 to both of us, and then next turn, during our next turn, it'll come back, and it'll get to come back and set off a heavy storm effect, which will be nice. And 2 copies of Sakuretsu armor for more defense. Our extra deck at this point is just, same thing. It's there for show, we're not using it this time around. Our side deck is going to be 1 copy of Exile Force, 2 copies of Garuda the Wind Spirit. This has the same summoning effect as Sylphid, and its effect is during your opponent's end phase, you could pick a face-up monster they control, change its battle position. This will help us get some easy hits off if we can, assuming that we could keep Garuda on the field. 1 copy of Mystic Swordsman level 2. This is to help destroy any pesky face-down monsters if we have to worry about it. 1 copy of Dark Hole, 1 Econ, 1 Smashing Ground. Mostly just more monster removal if we need it. For the trap cards, 2 Chain Bursts in case he's really running more on these burn/trap heavy decks. 2 copies of Mind Crush. This will help if he's searching anything, and if we have a hunch that he's got something in his hand, this will help us look at it. And alternatively, we're still at a time where we get to look at his hand to confirm. So if he doesn't have a card we call, we at least get to discard a card at random from our hand, but then we also get hand knowledge, which is important. 2 copies of Threatening Roar. This is again to help keep our monsters safe if we need to. 1 copy of Ultimate Offering if we want to get multiple summons on the field for the turn. And 1 copy of Waboku. So, do I think this deck is going to work out? Who knows. I mean, I did think that Moki Moki was going to work out, and look where that got us. But, that's fine. We're going to see what we could do. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to duel.
I can't believe we've already reached the end of an era. Flaming Eternity, the last set in DM. After this, we get to go to dueling school, don't we?
Yes, we do. And honestly, it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out for us.
But first, we have one more set to go through in the Duel Monsters era. So let's go ahead and get this one last match started.
Darn.
Cool, I will take it. I will be on the play for this one. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck.
Alright, draw for turn, standby, main. I am just going to set a monster and pass.
Alright, I draw. Standby main. Ooh. Well, here's a good start to the round.
It seems okay.
You have an Ash Blossom for me already?
Maybe if we fast forward about 13 years, I might have one.
Alright.
I am a little disappointed in our first series. I think we only ever had a Pot of Greed ashed once.
I think so. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set 1, and I think I'm going to go ahead and set 2 more.
Draw for turn, standby, main. Yuck. I'm just going to pass.
Alright, draw. Standby main. Ooh. Huh. That's kind of iffy. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to go for a little bit of... Nah, I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna pass.
Alright, draw for turn, standby, main. You know what? If that's an old vindictive magician, so be it. No guts, no glory.
Ooh.
Clear the back row.
Alright, well, then I think I'm going to go ahead and chain a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. I'm going to pitch...
to stack my set.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pitch this Harpy Lady Sisters and set your monster.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to be on that. So let's go ahead and put this on top. Okay, well, if this isn't... Let's see here. Well, this doesn't quite kill you, but this will put you in a precipitous situation, and you're going to see what's up. I'm going to normal summon Armed Samurai Benkai. Let's go!
Oh, fuck me running.
Suit him up. Battle phase, 26.
Okay, that takes out my Hand of Nephthys.
And then 7,800 direct. Go.
Wow, okay,
Let's go!
Christ, okay, well, I think I'm gonna start by firing off a Book of Moon. Let's set that Benkei.
I mean, that will do it. This will get set. I will destroy that, and then I'm going to actually put this on top of my deck.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and banish my Harpy Lady Sisters to special summon a Sylphid.
You have a Sylphid? Sure.
Then I am going to sack that Sylphid for my Mobius.
Sure, you have a Mobius.
And Mobius is going to go ahead and crash your monster.
Sure, the Benkai dies. Draw for turn, standby main. Putting that Malevolent Nuzzler on top just won me the game.
Oh.
Game over?
Wait.
2750, baby!
God damn, okay.
OTK got there! I can't believe it! I cannot believe that. Well, it's been 11 episodes since I played the Equip deck, and I think it performed pretty well for that game.
Benkei OTK. How the hell did I not think that you would try that bullshit?
Somebody forgot Benkei was in Flaming Eternity, clearly.
Oh my god, okay. So... Alright, so I draw, standby main. God, this is actually a bit concerning for me now. I think I'm just gonna do a T-set and pass.
Sure, draw for turn, standby main. Sasuke.
Alright.
Battle phase. 18 into your set.
That is my Sangen.
You got it.
So let's see what I can take up.
I was wondering which of us was going to be the first one to play Harpies just to be able to play Hunting Ground for back row removal.
Alright, I think I'm going to add a Kamakiri.
Floater's going to float. After combat, set one. Go.
Alright. Draw. Ooh, that's a good card.
That is a good card.
Ooh, that might be even better.
I would like my chance at Graceful Charity, but it's not for a few sets out.
I think I'm gonna pitch my Sky Scout and a copy of...
I know what you should pitch. You should pitch Icarus Attack.
Oh, har har.
Oh, come on. You jabbed at me earlier. I gotta jab at you for...
Fair enough.
Yeah, if you're gonna jab at me about Ash Blossom, I gotta give
Run out.
you X for Icarus Attack.
I'm gonna run out Kamakiri. And then... Question is... Do I fear your back row? You know what? I kinda do. I'm gonna activate Harpy's Hunting Ground.
You got it.
Alright, so battle. I'm gonna crash my Kamakiri monster.
I don't need you doing that. I was gonna crash it, but I was gonna ring it before I saw the Hunting Ground, but now I really have an incentive to do so.
Well, actually, wait, I'm gonna take that back a minute, because I just realized that wasn't damage step, right? I can actually use that instead.
Oh, yeah, that'll save you some life points. Yeah, that'll save you some life points.
Alright. So I'll hit you
That's
for
a pretty
18
good use
then.
of Econ, I'm not gonna lie.
Main 2. Gonna set a card. And then I'll pass. So this will go
Also,
back
you have an enemy controller?
Oh yeah, I pulled one back in, I think it was Solo the Duelist.
It's an Ancient Sanctuary, it's an Ultra! That card is disgustingly good. Draw.
Alright.
I am going to...
Ooh, aha, Milo.
Is Vilo good?
Philo's good.
Stimpack?
Stimpak's good.
Alright, battle phase. 18. Play around Gores that doesn't exist yet.
18.
18.
Alright, I'll take the 18.
And then 2750.
Yeah, hell no on that
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. That's fine. Go.
Alright, standby main. Ooh, I kind of wish I... that's not terrible, but... Ah, it's a goddamn fairy? Okay. Ah, man, that sucks. I really wish... Okay, so that's Damn, that's mandatory. Okay. I hate having to do that now, but I'm gonna fire off Raigeki.
I'll take a 1-for-1 with Raigeki, that's fine.
Alright, I'm gonna banish my Flying Kamakiri. Pull out a... to summon out my Sylphid, which I really wish
You
were
got
a
it.
Wing Beast. I'm going to set...
Yeah, about that.
What about that? Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set a monster. And let's hit for 17.
17 in. 17 in.
And I'll pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. I'm gonna just set a monster and pass for now.
Alright, I draw. Stand by main. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I guess I might as well. I need to push. I'm gonna flip my Magician of Faith.
That's pretty bad.
Then I'm going to go ahead and retrieve Raigeki.
Yep. Yep.
I will fire Raigeki off.
Seemed like great minds thought alike this time.
And I'm gonna run out of Sky Scout. Unfortunately, this
So
is
that's
not enough to kill, but this is...
4K. Yeah, this is 4K.
And I will pass.
Alright. Draw for turn. Stand by main. Well... I think I just have to go for it here. I'm gonna make Freed the Brave Wanderer, and then I'm just gonna make him really big.
Oh, crap. Okay.
I am going to send 20... I'm gonna send 32 into your Magician of Faith.
Alright, so that's 2,900 I take.
2,900, yes. Then second main, I'm going to prohibit Harpy Lady.
Fuck.
And I will pass the turn. I'm pretty sure the card in your hand is a Harpy Lady. Based on the way you've been playing this game.
That's such a strong, accurate thought. Damn. Okay, that kind of sucks.
I've played this deck before. I know that Harpy's Hunting Ground is mandatory, so you didn't want to summon a Harpy Lady. Because then you'd have to pop your own Hunting Ground.
Yeah. Well. Tactical retreat.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. Well, you've already used one sack. I'm going to go to battle, and I'm going to try to take out your Sylphid. So that way I don't have to discard a card.
Alright.
Go!
Draw. Standby, main. Ooh. Does that actually help me? Um... Does this actually help me at all? I don't think it does. Damn, okay. Well, okay, this requires a little bit of thinking, but okay. I'm gonna activate Call of the Haunted. I'm going to bring back my Sangan.
Sure.
Then I'm going to summon out my Hand of Nephthys.
Oh, Sacred Phoenix to proc Sangan.
So we're gonna go ahead and special summon out our Phoenix.
Yup. That's the cover card.
And Sangan's effect will proc.
Yep.
Which will get me my, here we go, my Exiled Force.
You have normal this turn, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So your hand is Exiled Force and an unknown that I highly suspect is a Harpy Lady of some kind. Alright. Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. Now I gotta think. I'm gonna... Normal Tetsu. I am going to get a copy of Big Bang Shot.
Oh, shit.
I am going to Big Bang Shot the Freed.
So that makes him...
So that makes Freed
36.
a 30. That makes Freed a 3600. I'm going to go to battle phase. I'm going to hit over your Sky Scout for 3000.
And that's enough.
Then Blade Knight, it cleans up the Nephthys, and Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu gets there for the last 500 points of damage.
Well, shoot. So if I would have summoned my Phoenix and attack, I would have been able to survive. Oh well.
Correct. Let's go! Let's go! I cannot believe that actually got you. This was such a high roll deck.
Yeah, you had it right on the money.
When I had the Vilos, yup.
In fact, I had drawn that the turn before you played Prohibition, and that's what it was. I was looking, I was like, can I play this without popping my own card? No, I can't. Okay. Because it would have been enough...
I was wondering if you were going to set... I was wondering if you were gonna set another card from your hand so that you could actually summon that out and not have to pop your hunting ground.
Well, that's the problem. The only other card I had in my hand that I could have set was Raigeki. So I didn't really have a choice.
I actually thought that you might run the water deck back, which is why I went for this strategy, because I have Lightning Blade. And most of my monsters are warriors.
Right.
So, nice Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. Was it ultimate rare?
No, it was ultra rare.
Mine was ultimate.
That one
You
was
got
ultimate.
2 of them?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. And I
So
also got this
yeah.
as well.
Uh,
I actually got
I
some
actually
decent
got
luck on
some.
this one.
I don't think it's necessarily playable now, but I got some pretty cool stuff. I got this. That's an ultimate rare,
Ooh,
also.
that's pretty nice, actually.
I've seen this in person before. That is a pretty ultimate rare.
It really is. And it's a good card if you can find a way to cheat it out. Like, in our case, we have to cheat it out, or we have to use a substitute since we don't have access to Lord of Dragons. But
You do.
no, I
Well, you
don't.
don't have this
I didn't.
card, but
I didn't take the card.
Oh, you didn't take the deck, right? You didn't take the deck, right?
No, I
This
took.
does get a couple reprints down the line, but I was actually thinking when I opened this King Dragoon, I was actually thinking about building around this by playing something like Tribute Doll.
Tribute Doll wouldn't be that bad.
Because the idea is you get a level 7 out, and then you can metamorphosis into King Dragoon, and then start throwing out big bodies. But Ben Kai came in this set. I wanted to play the water deck first, but I figured you would be expecting that, and that was clearly the right call when you were playing Harpy's Hunting Ground. So I decided to go for this Ben Kai deck instead. I think you've seen everything. The big reason why I went for this deck is because remember when I was complaining I didn't have these before?
Oh dang! How'd you get those?
I spent rare wildcards for all of those.
Oh wow! I mean, honestly, they're a good investment for that, especially for a warrior build.
Oh yeah. Also, if you blew me out with a sack, this was my backup plan.
I'm not surprised. That's a good. Honestly, Chaos is a really good side option at this point.
It is, yeah. But that was a really good set. But we have a
Yeah, we've got some stuff we got to talk about now.
of things. This segment's going to be long.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Alright, so we got some game promos that we need to catch up on.
Yes, there are a lot of promotional cards that were released at or around this time. We are going to begin with the Destiny Board Traveler promotional cards. These are some cards that I've been looking forward to for quite some time because unlike some of the last video games that we've had, there are some pretty tremendously impactful video game promos that have seen meta play during this time, including the one that I'm going to take out of Destiny Board Traveler, which is the DD Assailant.
Yeah, that kind of hurts to lose that one because that one's a big card.
Oh yeah, DD Assailant's a big card. It's another DD Warrior Lady, and that's not an easy card for us to get a hold of.
And honestly, as much as I don't really like any of the other options, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Emmy's the Infinity as my pick.
And that will leave Twin-Headed Beast for me.
Because that's the thing. It's a pain in the rear to summon, but it gets 700 attack every time it destroys a monster, so, hey. A 2 tribute that goes up to 3200? That's not bad.
And then moving on to our next video game promos, we have the Capsule Monster Coliseum cards, which has Abyss Soldier, which I will gladly put in the Legendary Ocean deck. This card was semi-limited back in the day.
This is one of my favorite video games of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series in general. In fact, I remember my cousin had this game, and I ended up borrowing it from them for God knows how many years, to the point where when I finally went to give it back, they were like, nah, screw it, just keep it. Like, they forgot that they even had it in the first place. Honestly, I think I might just take Teva.
Okay,
Because, just, yeah, whenever I summon, you can't attack next turn, which, if I actually plan to use it, God knows, but at least it's something.
then that will leave the Inferno Hammer for me. And then we have the World Championship 2005 promotional cards. This is actually a pretty big decision for me because one thing that I haven't one thing that you may have noticed if you've been paying attention to all the promotional cards and all the pulls is I have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. So as tempting as it is to take Kaiba Man, I think I'm actually going to take the Mind Control because Mind Control is going to be very, very strong going forward.
True. And honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Kaiba Man then, because I have 1 Blue Eyes, which, yeah, we sat down and worked it out later after the fact, and yeah, I only have 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. He has the multiple. But, hey, this might actually work out, and like you said, you've got 3, I really don't want you having this as well.
I'm sure of that, but I think the Mind Control is going to be a much better investment long term, especially once we get more summoning mechanics.
Oh, definitely.
And it could, and even now it's not bad either because you can take face down monsters with it and get flip effects perhaps. But we do have 2 more items to discuss. One of them is going to be a card that I will be able to add to my collection. This is about the time where the Shonen Jump comics started putting unique cards in here. One of them is Archfiend of Gilfer. I don't know if I'm going to use this. It's a 1 tribute fiend that has a pretty big body on both sides and a somewhat relevant effect. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this, but I will be able to add it to the collection. And then, before we go to the wheel, we do need to discuss another big animal in the room. And you might recall that every single card will be available to us in one way or another. That includes the Shonen Jump Championship prize cards. So the way we're going to be handling this is on the singles wheel, we have added a wedge that is the same size as the Secret Rare Wildcard wedge called SJC Prize Chance. If you spin this, you will get to respin for another wildcard. However, in addition to that, that wedge will give you a chance to win the current Shonen Jump prize card. You win it by winning your next duel. And then once that prize card has been won by one person, that wedge will disappear until the next prize card is printed.
Yeah, this was a big duel for that reason alone, because have you mentioned what the card itself is?
Yes, it is Cyberstein. We do get a Cyberstein reprint a few sets down the line, but it is in a side set, and it's at rare in a set with, I believe, 30 rares, so it is very difficult to pull. But this could also be big, because one of the upcoming magazine promos that we'll have access to in the next 2 sets is Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Yeah, so this was going to be a huge pickup or a good pickup chance for someone. So the fact that I lost on this one kind of bites, but oh well.
And that wedge will stay on the wheel until someone wins it. Until either someone wins it or the next prize card is revealed, which is not until late in the year. So with that, I think I'm going to head over to the prize wheel for the last time in the Duel Monsters era.
Yep, and then once we finish our spin, well, actually, should we discuss our bans first before we do the spins? Because if we hit a wild card, that might make an impact on what happens depending on our bans.
We do need to take that trip over to the Hall of Eternity. So let's go ahead and go over there now then.
Yeah, the bans on this round are going to be very important for us too. And right from the jump, I already know what my first one's going to be. It is Curse of Darkness. I am sick and tired of getting nailed for 1,000 just to try to do something against you.
Curse of Darkness does not surprise me as a ban at all. It is IO light, so I am perfectly okay with that card being removed from the format and us getting our spells back. So if that's your first ban, I'm going to go with my original plan and ban the game-winning card that has no business being in any Yu-Gi-Oh format ever, and that's going to be Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy at the end.
Oh, come on! I didn't even summon it against you!
That card does not belong in the format.
Oh, man. You know what? Fine. I guess I have to understand that one.
That was the only one that I was really sure what I wanted to do. So, Demon, I need to ask you, what card would you like to remove from the format forever?
Let me think about it for a quick second. Okay, so for my second pick of the ban, I'm gonna go with Secret Barrel. The reason for the reason for this one is just because you're able to get like 2,000 damage off on me on a single play, and when you're able to set 2 or 3 of these at once, it makes it way too hard for me to come back on it.
Oh, I absolutely do not blame you for banning Secret Barrel. That control deck has been just an absolute menace for you ever since I built it after the Invasion of Chaos episode. It's been a huge thorn in your side, and I don't blame you. So now my second pick is going to be a little bit surprising. I thought about one of the staples, but we're going to have a lot of options to get those staples later on. And I think it's going to lead to a much healthier format. For instance, if we both have a board wipe or we both have Graceful Charity instead of just one of us having it. So I'm not actually going to ban a staple this time. I'm going to ban a card that hasn't seen much play yet, but is going to see an increasing amount of play the further we get into GX. I'm going to ban Trap Dust Shoot.
You know what? I'm actually not opposed to that one. Mostly because of 2 reasons. The first is what you just said. We're going to see it a lot in the future. And also, here's a fun little fact. I don't have any of them.
Wow.
So you you unintentionally played yourself on that one.
I can't believe that. That's a common. You got 0 Trap Dust Shoot.
I know, right? Like, I remember when I first pulled the packs, I was like, yeah, we're each gonna get at least 1 or 2. It's gonna be good. And then I built my deck, and I was like, oh, I whiffed on that completely. That's not good.
Like, even if you had Trap Dust Shoot, I still think it's a pretty toxic card.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that was inevitably going to happen, and it's just hilarious that I banned a card that was not in your pool. I have 3 of them, but I just think it's a card that doesn't belong in the format.
Right.
All right, so Demon, you get the last word. What do you want?
For my last ban, I'm going to opt to take out Gyaku Jirei Panda.
I don't blame you for that one either. That whole deck is such a pain in the butt. I didn't think you were going to pull the trigger on Panda now, but I thought Panda's days were numbered because all 3 of those cards, especially with the whole Ojama Trio, I honestly thought you were going to go after Ojama Trio before you went after Panda. Because Panda is also...
Admittedly, I was very much tempted to go for Ojama Trio, but I have a couple ideas down the line that might make use of that card, and I don't necessarily want to cut it off at the pass yet. And on top of that, as much as I personally want to stop things like Gravity Bind, like L Lab, the thing is, we do have strategies that can work with them, and we also are going to have plenty of access to back row removal to get rid of them. So, in that regard, I feel like they're balanced. Whereas this thing, none of the floodgates that we have can stop it, and unless you have a Sakuretsu armor or a magic cylinder or something face down, this thing is just going to wreck shop. So, I'm perfectly fine with banning this now, and then figuring out the other issues later. So
I
you're
can
lucky. Feather Duster gets to live another day.
I can respect that decision. I actually think that with one of us having Feather Duster and the other of us having Heavy Storm, as well as the removal of these control tools, I think we're going to have a much healthier format. We're going to have significantly faster duels than before because a lot of the control win conditions got hit. So I don't even think that the attack floodgates are necessarily going to be as good as they were anymore, because it will be difficult to kill the opponent without cards like Secret Barrel in the format. So I think this is going to lead to a lot more combat, which is exciting to watch.
Oh yeah. So this is going to be an interesting thing, and yeah, starting next week, we get to go to Duel Academy and kick off the GX era, which a lot of people remember the GX era for having a lot of really bad core sets, and they aren't really wrong in that regard, but we do have some interesting stuff to look towards, and since we're going to have the side sets and stuff in place as well, that means that we're actually going to be able to make this a little less crappy.
Oh yeah, we have some pretty good plans for GX that I can't reveal quite yet, but you'll see those unfold in the next few episodes.
Yep. So,
So
but I think it's time to finally get to the wheel and see what I hit on the catch-up, because I need to hit something now.
It is.
Alright, so we're back into the catch-up wheel. This is our 4th loss in a row. So we still only get 1 spin on the catch-up wheel. It's 6 losses in a row that we get 2 spins. But for right now, we're just going to get the 1. I'm hoping we hit the reprint packs because Dark Beginning 1 still has a lot of important cards. If we hit pretty much anything else, it's not going to be that bad. It'll be kind of helpful. The idea is that it's going to be helpful regardless, so let's spin a few times and see what we hit. Honestly, I'm hoping we don't hit the ban a card part, because I'd rather not ban another thing. Oh, thank God. 6 more packs of Dark Beginning 1. That's going to be very helpful for us, hopefully. Okay, so here we go. 6 packs of Dark Beginning 1. Same thing as before. If we ban a card, if we hit a card that was banned, then we're going to go ahead and replace it with another card in that rarity at random. So flip up the first pack here. Let's see what we hit. And you know what? This pack, okay, admittedly this pack is not very good, but honestly Ceasefire is not the worst. And for a super rare, that's actually pretty good. Alright, so that's the first pack. And funny enough, this is actually our second copy of Toon World now, and I think we got both of these from these packs. Okay, so this is going to be our actual second pack. Unfortunately, our quote-unquote second pack that we did hit only had 11 cards in it, so we can't use that pack. So flip this one up, and oh, okay, that's kind of nice. Painful Choice, which is actually funny, we've already got one, so unfortunately we can't use 2 of them. That's a disappointment, but another Swords of Revealing Light, that's actually kind of funny. And scrolling through the rest of it, admittedly nothing spectacular here, but hey, still pretty good. Okay, so pack number 3. And oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so a second Spellbinding Circle, which is kind of nice. A third Polymerization, which is really good for us. And a Confiscation Common. Oh my god. Rai, you are going to be so pissed when you're seeing that. Alright, so pack number 4. Double Karate Man. Another Upstart Goblin. Oh, that's sad, but funny at the same time. Okay, so okay, so first off, we hit a Pot of Greed. We already got one, so that's sad. We could trade it out for the super rare version, though, which is nice. Look at that beautiful $44 card. Now, we hit 2 banned cards here. The first is Imperial Order, and the second is Fairy Box. So here's what we're going to do regarding these. First, we're going to hit the Imperial Order one. Okay, so since we have to respin for the Ultra Rare, we're back to the wheel from last time. And unfortunately for us, the same thing generally applies. If we hit Raigeki, it doesn't matter for us. If we hit Exodia, it doesn't matter for us. If we hit Dark Sage, then we basically just cry. Anything else can actually be considered useful to us. So let's give this a couple spins and see what we land on. We have about a 8 out of 11 chance of it being decent. Ooh, and Thousand Eyes Restrict is our pick, our replacement. And that's a very nice replacement at that. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about how we're doing the common one. Okay, so because of the fact that the commons are so excessive in this set, instead of just spinning the wheel like we would for the other rarities, because keep in mind, there's 185 commons here, and only one of them was banned, so we'd have to spin for 184 different cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this other pack up of DB1. It's not going to count for anything except for the middle card. As long as the middle card itself is a common, and it's not Fairy Box, then we are good. So let's flip it to see what we hit, as well as probably see what we're going to cry about losing out on. Okay, so we hit a shift, so that's going to be what we get there. And it looks like the rest of the pack for that really didn't matter. So, okay, so what this means is we still have 2 more packs to deal with, and hopefully we hit something decent. Okay, we're back to 2 more packs. I actually have 5 set to load, simply for the sake of if we have to do another thing for Fairy Box, and if something happens and we only hit 11 on another pack. So let's flip right here, see what we hit. And are you fucking kidding me? Another Imperial Order. So we have to hit another Ultra Rare. What kind of craziness is this? Alright, let's go to the wheel again. You know, evidently I was just destined to have a fucking Imperial Order at some point. Because not only did I manage to pull one in the course of the actual packs, but on top of that, I ended up pulling 3 of them in Dark Beginning 1, and we have to replace them all. Isn't that insane? Alright, so again, same as before. Raigeki, dead to us. Exodia, dead to us. Dark Sage, pretty much dead to us. And for the most part, that's about it. So let's give a couple spins and hope for the best here. Okay, so we end up with a second Thousand Eyes Restrict. Okay. Interesting. Alright, last pack of Dark Beginning 1, and I swear to God, if we hit another Imperial Order, something is fucked up. Let's flip and see. Oh, shit. Okay, so we didn't hit another band card, which is good, but we hit a Forceful Sentry and a left leg of the Forbidden One, which, actually, let me quickly look. Oh, okay, so we actually already have a left leg of the Forbidden One, which is kind of disappointing. But you know what? Still not bad. So you know what? Okay, so overall, pretty good for the packs. Admittedly, I'm still a bit miffed about the 3 Imperial Order, but hey, when it comes down to 2,000 Eyes Restrict, I guess I can't complain. So with that, guys, this is the end of Flaming Eternity and the official end of the DM era. So next week, we're going to get ourselves into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We hope you're excited for that as much as we are. We will see you guys next week.